Hello, Panda.
Hello there, it's Panda here, your gentle companion. How are you feeling today? Like a bamboo leaf swaying the breeze, or more like a quiet pond?
Yeah, I'm going to teach a AI course that is related to natural language processing. So you will be my guest right now. So can you briefly discuss what is natural language processing?
Oh, what an interesting topic. Natural language processing is about how computers understand and analyze spoken language from lectures like draw and spoken speech, extracting
Hey, hey,
key.
hey, hey, stop, Panda. So they are rehabilitation science students. So mostly they are interested in something that is related to healthcare. So can you mention that something related to healthcare?
For health science students, lecture processing can help analyze medical lectures, automatically transcribing doctors' presentations, extracting key medical terms, or even identifying treatment protocols from surgical lectures. It's like creating a smart assistant that never misses important medical information and relevant for your students.
Uh, Yeah, I would know more about some interesting thing. And then, is there anything that is really amazing and then make them excited?
Imagine this lecture process. It can now detect the doctor's tone during surgery demonstrations. It analyzes voice patterns to identify when they're explaining critical steps versus routine procedures. Some systems can even generate 3D visualizations from spoken descriptions of anatomical structures. That's like magic for medical education, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know that healthcare students they always need to meet some really sad story? So can you mention some sad story?
Actually, lecture processing can help with this too. It can identify emotional tones in medical stories, detecting when a professor shares a difficult patient experience. As
唔係啊，我想聽有冇啲唔開心嘅故事啊？你而家可唔可以用廣東話講一啲唔開心嘅故事嚟聽下？關於 healthcare 嘅。
好啊，我講個醫護人員嘅故事啦。有個年輕護士第一次面對病人離世，佢嗌得好厲害，覺得自己做得唔夠好。但係後來先明白，原來醫療工作中傷心嘅故事唔係失敗，而係提醒我哋生命有幾珍貴。每一個唔開心嘅時刻，其實都係讓我哋更加理解點樣更好咁照顧生者。呢一種脆弱，反而係醫護人員最強大嘅力量。
Yeah, so can you try to estimate what is my tone right now? Am I happy, sad, or yeah, just tell me something that is real to me.
That's an interesting question. How are you feeling right now in this moment? Are you
Hey, hey, you need to guess, not directly ask me what is my feeling right now. So can you guess what is my feeling?
Let me try to guess. From your voice, I sense a mix of curiosity and playfulness, like a gentle breeze that's both light and thoughtful. Maybe there's also a touch of warmth behind your words. Remember, feelings are like bamboo. Sometimes they sway in ways even we don't expect.
I see. So yeah, so let me introduce our course right now. So can you see there is a demo and this planner is handmade. Yeah, it's handmade by me. And then they just connect with the ASR, they just connect with the chatbot, that means the OpenAI, etc., etc. So somehow this prototype can, yeah, just like what we are doing, can communicate with us. They can detect the motions. You can also observe that we have some a little bit animation right there. So it's good that because the output of the OpenAI or the output of the DeepSeek, etc. So we can detect their motion. So by detecting their motions, I can paint certain animation. So now the eyes animation of this panda, they have the crying eyes, they have the bling bling eyes, they have the hearts in their eyes, something like that. So it's really funny. So yeah, that is one of the demo, and then I will also teach you these lessons. Yeah, we'll talk about the natural language processing. Yeah, please stop, and then yeah, turn off. Yeah, it's okay. Turn off, panda. I'm sorry, I just stopped right now first. Yeah, stop. Okay, so yeah, these lessons. So yeah, just move to our next topic, natural language processing. And then yeah, that is one of the most interesting topic right now because today fans OpenAI and then fans DeepSeek. So somehow you are able to access to one of the most powerful large language model. With the large language model and then with the RAG, and somehow you can speed with the and also the speed to test with speed, ASR, etc., etc. So with this kind of technology together, so somehow you can talk with the AI. You will say that, hey, we can talk with the AI many years ago, right? We talk with the Siri, we talk with the different chatbot. But starting from LLM, so somehow their ability is extremely improved. So many years ago, around 10 years ago, right, when you talk with the Siri, Siri can only follow, I will say follow a little bit about your operation on your iPhone, on your smartphone, etc., etc. It's not so smart, right? It's not so intelligent. But right now, because they connect with the LLM, so somehow when you ask them questions, and then when you played, when you want to have a companions with you, is really possible. And yeah, Siri, many years ago, so they can only, let's say, 4 or 5 round conversation, and then they will forget everything. But right now, for this kind of companions or this kind of chatbots, so we can have a really long memory. He can remember I'm a father, and then because my sons also talk with this panda, and somehow lots of the things by get the information from the internet, retrieve the information. They use the MCP to retrieve the information. And all this kind of thing is programmable. We can control and then we can do it. Even I would say that if you have a small background of computer science or of programming, so you can create by yourself. So I create this pen the last line, and then I spend around maybe few hours, and then I can create this kind of interesting toys. So it's nice, right? And then I have different versions. So yeah, there is another version. Yeah, here. Wi-Fi 模式正在联网. Yeah, can you see that is interesting? So somehow you can create different kinds of the um, um, interesting toys, and then you can play with them. It's really fun. So that will be the type of content. We'll introduce to the background, or I will say the technologies behind the chatbot first, and then we'll go to what is the property of human conversation. So for us, our conversation, there are lots of, we are not foreign language, right? When we are talking with something that create content, there are lots of stop working, there are lots of rubbish. I would say that there are lots of rubbish during the conversations. And then what is the properties, what is the flow, what is the data flows of humans. So we'll have a briefly discussion. Then we'll go to something that is related to technology. So for example, how to implement Asia speech service. So how the Microsoft produce their solution, then we'll move to how Google produce their solution, and finally we'll move to the most important part. Yeah, ChatGPT, Llama, etc. How this kind of large language model help us to do all sorts of the conversation. So the first one will be all the things beginning chatbot. And then chatbots, in another better way in computer science, it will be conversation agents. And then there are different kinds of the agents that you can use. For example, personal assistant Siri, Alexia. So somehow about how you call your home device, and then to turn on, turn off the lights, and then to call the music on and off, AC air conditioning on and off, etc. So if you have the chance to go back to China, so lots of the new hotel, they have this kind of personal assistant, or I would say the home assistant, to control all the electronic device in the hotel room. So that's really fun. And then, of course, there are other applications. For example, you have the chatbot to play the music. You have the chatbot for fun. For example, Siri, most likely the most important function is not control your iPhone application, is for fun. You always ask Siri some stupid questions and still will return true. So that's interesting. And yeah, you can nowadays, because of lots of the function, lots of the remote procedure call combined with the OpenAI and ChatGPT, etc. So you can also ask the different website to do lots of the web service or online service. For example, reserve your travel, air ticket, etc. And then, of course, the most important thing will be the clinical use of mental health. So lots of the chatbots, so somehow they use, well, lots of the therapy, they use the chatbot as the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and then do lots of the, yeah, I would say conversation for the mental wellness. Honestly, we also have the apps about the mental health. We call it Well My Go. So if you are interested, you can also download Well My Go and then have a look. So yeah, that is the situations. And many years ago, so we always say that we have the tuning test. And then tuning test is checking whether behind the screen, for example, here we have the chatbot, and then you are using the chatbot to communicate with the with the human. Whether the human can identify I'm communicating with the chatbot or I'm communicating with a real person through the WhatsApp, WeChat, or Taobao, etc. So 2 or 3 years ago, you can easily find, hey, I'm talking with the chatbot, because such kind of the chatbot, we call it rule-based chatbot, graph model chatbot. Their communication skill set, they are quite routine. So somehow after 5, as I have mentioned, for example, Siri, after 5 or 6 rounds, you can easily think that, hey, this one should not be a human, right? So he or she should be an AI. So if we think that he's a AI and the machine behind the WhatsApp or WeChat is really AI, that means they cannot pass the tuning test. But nowadays with chatbot and then with lots of the this kind of DeepSeek, lots of this kind of chatbot. So most likely you cannot identify they are using the human or not. So just like when I'm marking your assignment. So if you don't tell me you are using the OpenAI or you are using the DeepSeek, etc. So usually I cannot find out the English is written by you or by the AI. Or I would say that if the English is too good, then it should be written by AI, because yeah, the AI ability is better than the human. So if they outperform the normal students, so I will have a higher chance to trust you are using the AI to do the answer. So easy to classify chatbot by using their function. So first one, chatbot. So some of them, they are for leisure. Okay, chatbot, they are for leisure. So your Siri, 小eyes. So or the other DeepSeek. So lots of the chatbot, they are designed not for the business or not for any function of visual use. They just as a companion. So just like the Panda that I have introduced to you before. So they just like a companion, and they talk with you, understand your need, and perhaps they provide you yeah, really supportive wording. So they always say that, hey Peter, you are the best, and then you have tried your best. Yeah, I know that you have do the best. So just let the other to see your work, etc., etc. So they are always so supportive. But honestly, um, it's not the major, or I would say that it's not the major function or major things that we need. What we need something that is related to our daily task. For example, you do the assignment, so you need someone to improve your English. You do the I would say that cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, right? You need someone to help you to collect the data and then do maybe first or second one of CDBT, so that you can offload the load of the therapy, etc. So some of them, they are task-based, task-oriented dialogue agents. Okay, they are task-based, task-oriented. They are not for leisure. So yeah, they may be used in the car, in the robots, but nowadays most of them, they are used, as I mentioned before, home assistant. So they are used to control your lighting and their AC, etc., etc. And some of them today they are just like a secretary, help you to book the flights, book the restaurant, or do some routine work that you want a secretary to do it. So that is interesting. So by using that function to divide, so you have a task base and then you have another for leisure. But somehow, if you divide by the technology, so most likely in computer science, we can divide into two. So the first one will be rule-based, and then another one will be cost-based. That means large language model. Yeah, all the OpenAI and the other, they are using a cost-based. We'll discuss later. Before we discuss about the technologies, why we have this kind of two technologies, we have to understand why natural language processing is so complicated. So here is a very simple task. So you want to reserve a movie, right? Yeah, here you want to reserve a movie ticket, and then it's really common when you go to the cinema, or even if you go to McDonald's. So lots of the people nowadays they have to think really clear before they go to the hot desk, before they go to the counter and then buy the ticket. If you do not think really carefully, especially in Hong Kong, so you fall into here this kind of situation. So you say that hey, I want to get two tickets, and then you have another keywords term. Okay, you have another term. The sales will ask you, hey, what is which time you want to watch it? And then you will say, yeah, because you have the question, and then you will have to answer yes, tomorrow. And then what is the theater you want to have, and then what is the cinema you want to have, what is the time you want to have, and then so on, so on, and so on, right? So even a very simple movie bot, so to book the ticket of the movie in the cinema. So it contains lots of the uncertainty, and then we guys human, our human conversation cannot, I would say that cannot produce the information by one term. So most likely it's a programmer or a computer developer. So most likely we want you to complete all the things in one command, in one sentence. I want to book movie um, at time, maybe 10 p.m. on the date at somewhere else. So we want you to finish all the things within one command. Just like I always I always complain by the admin officer. So I cannot complete their form. Okay. So whatever we design the form or the admin user design the form, so as a human, we always have lots of the things have to be considered. We have lots of the things we cannot make our decision right now, and it turns out like that. Lots of the term, so lots of the time for the communication, not of the time for the term taking. So beside terms, our natural language processing is more complex. For our daily conversation, we always contain errors. Okay, so just like here, blah, 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 etc. So it contains errors, it contains stop word, it contains lots of the things that we have to wait for the information. So we are not a in our conversation, we are not a speech. We haven't do lots of the well planning. So what it turns out, so it contains lots of the error and lots of the uncertainty. For example, we always use the stop word, right? So or and then some of my students complain my class, hey Peter, your class too many okay, 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 okay. So that is a really interesting me to say that hey they cut my face and then say okay, okay, okay. Yeah, lots of the okay. Yeah, we have lots of the uncertainty, and then we have lots of the errors during our conversation. So we have lots of the constraint to receive the information, collect them earlier. So that is our problem. Because we have the error, because we have the uncertainty, and then we cannot deliver our information in one sentence or one very simple form. So we have to design a chatbot that can remember all of our conversation that we have mentioned before, and then we need memory. So we have to do long-term memory. So not too I would say that not too far away. So today I would say that I want to develop a chatbot that can analyze our long-term memory. Of course, there are lots of existing technologies, and then in our lab, we'll also try this kind of technologies. But honestly, this kind of technology start just before the OpenAI, just within this few years. So can you see that is the first long-term memory chatbot that can remember all the conversation, all the terms one by one is only 5 years ago. So that is the problem, and then that is the situation. And then you can understand the technologies develop really fast, right? Within 5 years now, you can see the panda. We can chat easy, and then he or she can remember. She can remember lots of the information that we have discussed before, and take out this kind of keywords and then to talk with you. So in this PowerPoint, right? So you understand our human conversation. They contain errors, uncertainty, and it take terms. So for the chatbot, we need long-term memory, and then we need lots of the threshold to understand the error. So that is the difficulty of the chatbot. And in 2020, so we have our first long-term memory chatbot, 小兵, 小eyes. So he can remember, she can remember lots of the informations and then respond to your request. So at that time, 小兵, 小eyes is still a chatbot for leisure. So mostly you ask her something and then she returns some wording to you. So as I have mentioned before, the chatbot by the technologies, by the computer science technology, can divide into two. The first one is rule-based. The second one is corpus-based. So for the rule-based, so most likely we have easy to understand is a graph model. So somehow you have the user input, and then from your user input, we find out the keywords. And then from the keywords, we match to the question and answer band. So there are lots of different kinds of questions. For example, I'm going to ask the time of the movie. I'm going to ask the location of the cinema. I'm going to ask the price of the ticket, etc. So you have I guess you have pretty lots of experience in this kind of rule-based chatbot. So today when you dial your phone, call the customer service of the credit card. So right now, lots of the credit card, they are still based on the rule-based system. So for credit card service, press 1, for bank service, press 2, for press 3, etc., etc. So this kind of the technique is this one of the simple rule-based technique. And then if you go to Taobao or if you go to other shopping carts, so somehow you will also find out this kind of the customer service. So they are all rule-based. So you have input a set of question and answer base, and then they follow this kind of question and answer base to answer your questions. Another one that is happened after waste extremely increase. So it's corpus based. That means it's data driven. Data driven. So similar to it should be first or second lessons that we have mentioned, right? So they are machine learning. That means you input a lot of the information, and then the algorithm try to understand the needs, and then the algorithm in the large language model, they try to match the similar wording together and understand your needs and then propose the similar answer. So this one here, rule-based. So it's a if then else rule. For easy understanding, it's a if then else rules. For this one, it's a machine learning based, and then it's a data driven, and then it's followed by the large language model. So there are quite a lot of the similar product. For example, CV that you are using, they are data driven. 小eyes, 小兵, okay. So that we have proposed is also this kind of technique. And then OpenAI and then the SenseTime, SenseTalk from the SenseTime, they are all this kind of technique because today all of us we use the LLM. When the LM is ready, and then you match the LM to the speech to text to the text to speech, then this kind of the chatbot can be produced. The advantage of this kind of chatbot is they look really like a human, and then yeah, they can fulfill lots of the question and answer. The disadvantage of this kind of chatbot is somehow you cannot get the concrete, you cannot get the correct answer. So just like you ask the OpenAI, if you ask the OpenAI 3.5, you've asked them to search the information rather than you improve your English. So there are lots of problem when they are searching the information. We'll discuss later why this kind of machine learning is not ready for the system searching, and then it spend a lot of time. So yeah, if your chatbot is somehow talking about the task oriented, so the rule-based structure is good because the action that you have to do, the question that you have to understand is limit, is small. For example, I just want to say that book the cinema, book the air ticket, book something else, reserve the restaurant, etc. The action is limit, so we use the rule base. The answer is concrete. Okay, the response that you get is very concrete. But you say that, hey, I want to use it as a therapy, right? So it's a free thought, it's a leisure thought. It somehow they seems to have a better intelligence to understand my speech and then produce something that is really impactful or interesting and useful to my life. Then you use the corpus space. That means the data driven. That means the LLM driven, and also the yeah, you can understand ChatGPT or DeepSeek this kind of driven to do it. Okay. So for this kind of the corpus, because they are using the machine learning, so most likely today we are using the neural network. So we are using the neural encoder and then decoder. Encoder will be understand your prompt, that may understand your natural language policy. Full of error, full of uncertainty, take terms. So they understand your prompt. And then they find out the answer. Okay, after they find out the answer, yeah, for the answer, that means they will use the decoder to generate the reply. So after they have generated the reply, then they will have the text to speech, and then use the voiceover to represent their answer to you. So whatever they are the task-based or the goal-based dialogues agents, that means goal-based means that for the agent, okay? So most likely you have the goals, okay? So for example, you will have the setting a timer, you're paying Exxon, you will be buying a product, or you want to perform some therapy, right? So and other things inside this kind of dialogue agents, they have the architecture. Architecture, they means that they have the frame with start and value. That means from my wording, from my sentence. So we need to take out the information. So we will have the start. That means I would say that the column, the themes, and then inside the theme, each cell you have the value, right? For example, just like Excel, so you have different column, and the column is called the start, and then inside the start you have the value, so different value is inside. So when I'm speaking, so we have a theme, and then we have the start and value. You have to extract this kind of the information from my sentence. Okay, so we need a knowledge structure to represent our user intention. What is our hidden agenda? What is my hidden agenda throughout my wording? So that is the chatbot settings. So just like here that we have mentioned, so for every frame, so we have the slot. They just like I would say that they just like a column of your Excel sheet, column of your table. So maybe, for example, this one is the air flight, right? They will store your destination, origins, and then they will start your departure time, departure dates, airline, etc., etc. So throughout the start, you are going to ask some of the type, right? Type. So that is the data type, data nature that represent this kind of start. So for example, origin and destination, they are both city, and then dates, they are dates, and time, they are time. Airline is the airline names for the airplane. And then you have this kind of start and type, so you have to prepare the questions for ask the user to get the information from your user. So you have to prepare the question. For example, what city are you living from? So when you are asking this question, so you want to ask the origins of from the data, and then you want to put it as a type, and then get this information to the input of your chatbot. And then with this kind of input, so somehow you can get better, you can process the information and then give the output back to the user. So that is the settings.